This is your warning that this video does have huge spoilers for TGCF and Squid Game.
What's up guys, it's Kichter, and today I'm going to talk about what if the TGCF characters were put in a Squid Game alternate universe, sticking to the original plot of Squid Game as much as possible. I've spent some time trying to force the characters of TGCF with some success and failure, but I think this arrangement is what makes the most sense. Alright, so our main characters are the same, Xie Lian and Jihan. Try to imagine book 4, poor and fallen Xie Lian before he becomes a calamity. Just like how Jihan's mom is sick, Xie Lian's dad was sick, and both of them start looking for alternate ways to make money. Now this is where Xie Lian meets someone at a train station, and it happens to be Bai Wuxiang, and this is where Bai Wuxiang would initiate Xie Lian into the games. Now you might just want to put Bai Wuxiang as the front man because you know they both wear masks, but no, we're going off of characteristics here. I promise it'll pay off. Xie Lian is inside of the games and he's getting familiar with number 1, an old man named Junwoo, and another man who is from his childhood. In the show, this would be Sangwoo. In this, it's Muqing. Now the old man being Junwoo thing pays off later, but for Muqing and Sangwoo, they both have mothers back home that they need to take care of, and both of them came from poor beginnings and then moved up higher. Muqing got to go work up in the palace with Xie Lian, and Sangwoo's mom thinks that he's out in America after being admitted into such a prestigious university. See the comparison here? They play the first game, red light, green light, and this is where Xie Lian trips at the last moment and he gets saved by Feng Xin, who is Ali. Feng Xin is strong and there for Xie Lian, just like how Ali is strong and there for Jihan.
And they're both fathers secretly trying to take care of their family.
Now these three and the old man kind of become a bit of a trio. It kind of resembles the Shanle trio. Meanwhile, while the games are going on, we've got our cop friend, and who is the cop but Shi Qingxuan? And he's out there looking for his brother, Shi Wudu. So with Shi Qingxuan and Shi Wudu, where is He Xuan? Well, Shi Wudu, as the front man, must have won these games at some point, and I think there's a story there with He Xuan being the rightful winner, and at the last minute, Shi Wudu might have pulled something on him. But that's a story for another time. Alright, back to the main group. We've fast forwarded a whole bunch, and now we're at the marble game. This episode is so tense, and I know that the moment with the two girls has been put into so many different characters. It works deliciously for Beefleaf. It's so sad for Calamity, Xie Lian, and Wu Ming. If you can think of a good ship where someone sacrifices themselves for the other, some artist has made it. But in this analysis, using up all the characters I can, I am making Yin Yu the North Korean girl and Chuen Yi-zhen the South Korean girl. It makes sense how, coming down to it, Chuen Yi-zhen would probably sacrifice himself for Yin Yu, and Yin Yu would probably be trying to manipulate him and feel really bad and not go through with it, and then be completely blown away and a mess, knowing that Chuen Yi-zhen rigged the game so that he would win. Meanwhile, Junwoo has manipulated Xie Lian into thinking they can be best friends. They go through the whole little trickery, and then Junwoo sacrifices himself for Xie Lian. And Xie Lian wins, and Junwoo dies off screen, as besties. Now, this part is a little bit messed up. If Feng Xin and Muqing were together and became partners, if it really came down to it, I think that perhaps Feng Xin might believe that Muqing had an idea where they could rig the games to both win. And then in the end, Muqing, especially because he had his mom back home to think about, may have manipulated it so he would win. I know it's super messed up, but you gotta put the characters in the situation of the Squid Game characters. I don't like this answer, but it works. Feng Xin dies, Chuen Yi-zhen dies. And this is where we have the next game, the glass hopscotch, where two characters I haven't brought up yet. I feel like this would kind of work if Xuan Ji killed Pei Ming. Oh yeah, don't worry, I got everybody in here.
Meanwhile, Shi Qingxuan finds out that it was his brother who was the front man all along, shoots him, gets shot, falls off a cliff. Does he die? I don't think so. I think he's gonna come back for season 2.
Now we're in the final and Yin Yu is mortally wounded, but then Muqing Muqing, who has kind of completely lost himself, it's almost as if he turned into a calamity, murders Yin Yu to be in the final with Xie Lian. The two childhood friends, just like in Squid Game, are at the final knife battle. Now, Xie Lian and Muqing used to be sword fighting buddies. That's why Muqing got hired into the royal palace with him. So that would actually be a pretty epic knife fight. And then Muqing, you know, he can't go through with it, and he does his little, I just wanted to be your friend, as he stabs himself in the throat, making Xie Lian the winner. I know, this is really messed up. Then Xie Lian wins. He comes back home to find his parents are dead. Canon compliant, am I right? I know, doesn't this just work so well? But instead of becoming Calamity Xie Lian and getting stabbed in the chest a billion times, he just grows a beard and doesn't spend any of his money. Until he gets a note from old man Junwoo, old man bestie Junwoo, who has been revealed to be behind this the entire time and tries to convince Xie Lian that people are selfish and don't care for one another, just like in TGCF. To make his point, Junwoo points to a homeless man on the street and says that no one is going to help him. And this moment is just like when Xie Lian put himself on the street and then someone came and gave him the hat to shield him from the rain. Seeing that man come back and get the cops to help the homeless man was the moment of getting the hat, knowing that people are actually good inside and will help each other, and it's not this messed up world that Junwoo, the old man, thinks it is. This is the parallel! This is the moment of the parallel! So now that his faith in humanity is restored, Xie Lian shaves, puts on some new robes, and before he decides to move on, he calls up Shiwudu and he says he's coming back up to the heavens and he's gonna fix it himself. And that's where he could hopefully meet up with cop Xi Qingxuan, who, you know, might have a couple injuries from such an epic fall, just like how Xi Qingxuan is now crippled, and they'd go kick ass together in season 2. Now, you may have noticed that Sanlong has not been involved in this at all, and that's because I think that Squid Game works the way it is because there is no love interest, there is no faithful believer that's rooting for Ji-hun the whole time. If anything, Sanlong is us as the audience rooting for Xie Lian, the main character, the whole time. There's no love interest in Squid Game for a reason, because it's not telling that kind of story. But they also have these same brutal elements and characters that go through the same kind of betrayal and manipulation, which is why this was kind of easy to do and also really, really hard. We're dealing with similar stakes, but told in a completely different way. Now, warning, this is sad. I think that if Hualian were put in the Squid Game, they would actually be the 69 couple. Hua Chung would sacrifice himself in the marble game, and then Xie Lian would kill himself. And Finn. But with that plotline finished, I'd like to talk about a few other alternate ones that I haven't completely thought out. I could also see the frontman being He Xuan, because there is that deep betrayal with him and Xi Qingxuan, and the moment with the brothers on the cliff as Beefleaf would absolutely be delicious. But also, I don't think He Xuan would be so evil to hurt poor people like that, because He Xuan came from such poor beginnings. I don't think he would be so terrible. Whereas Shiwudu canonly does take advantage of poor people, and he fucks over people that don't pray to him and won't let their goods travel across the water safely. Now, another way is I could see the cop being Hua Chung if he was able to infiltrate and be undercover and kind of help out Xie Lian throughout the games. It's kind of like diverging from the original plot, but I think that could be really good too. So what do you guys think? Do you like my ideas? Do you have any other reasons why it does work or doesn't work for these characters to be these characters from Squid Game? I am obsessed with TGCF and MXTX works, so if you like this kind of content, consider clicking subscribe and also joining my YouTube membership, where you can help me reach my dream of doing YouTube full-time.
If you join my membership, you'll have access to members-only live streams where we talk about stuff like this, and depending on the membership level you select, you'll also get BTS and blooper content.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!